Finally I'm seeing you. Meeting you.
Yes, it's great to meet you. How are you?
Fine. Very happy, very happy. Was looking forward to see you and to have some time with you in co-creation.
I'm grateful for the same.
Yes. Really, after so many back and forth, it's really very nice that we are able to have some time and enjoy. And also, um, I was looking at your LinkedIn now, and I registered to your newsletter. I said why I didn't do it before, but it's never late. There's never late.
No,
Uh, and it's so, it's very, yeah, I love it. It's very, you read it and it's very you. It's very humble. It's very interesting. um, Whole also. It feels very whole, like you, I guess, because now I'm going to get to know you. But the energy you emanate is that one is of wholeness, of integrity, and it's really beautiful. So thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes. So, well, today it's co-creation. Co-creation is just having a conversation, you and me.
Yes,
We don't know where it's going to lead because we're just being in the now, being as who we are. And I don't interview, I just flow with you in anything that comes up, and it will always be when we talk from the heart, no, and we connect heart to heart. Whatever is getting out here in our conversation, in our co-creation, it's always going to be very nurturing and very expansive.
I agree.
Yes. So you have well, you're I think you're like many of us know, true leaders are a little bit of everything.
Yes,
Not like some call it polymath, because we do a little bit of everything, no? Because we are letting ourselves expand. We are curious. We know we don't know anything, and we want to grow and learn and expand. So we do, well, we create a little thing, a little bit of everything, through who we are.
very true.
Yeah. So how what has been your journey to be all that you are now today?
Um, it's been a fun ride. It,
Yes.
it's
No?
it's been an adventure for sure. Um, it started 14 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and um, it evolved from doing things on my own to then taking classes to then getting certifications to getting my PhD. So uh, my philosophy is that the more that I know, the more I find out about myself, the more I can help others find themselves and discover who they are. And I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know what I don't know until I don't know it. So I've learned to listen. I've Listening was the hardest and best lesson I ever had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
The second hardest and best lesson was actually following through. Because
Mm-hmm.
just because you hear something or you're guided to do something, and then you don't take the action steps in order to follow that guidance, things don't go according to your plan. They don't go according to any plan. There's more roadblocks. It's not detours. Detours are more fun. There's literally roadblocks, and there's you going up a hill in a boat. Okay, it's not row my boat gently up a mountain. This really sucks. I really should find some water. That's not how the song goes. So learning how to listen and learning how to then have the courage to take those action steps that you don't think you can do.
Yeah.
Even when you have doubts,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're allowed to be scared. I mean, I tell my clients this all the time. You can be scared and still do it. You can say, I don't know where this is going. I'm learning for the first time. This is my first time doing this. This may look very ungraceful, and it should. It's your first time. Congratulations. You're here at the very beginning. But when we get into fear, we stop. We pack a lunch, okay? And we pop a squat, and we sit down and get really super comfortable in this place, okay, that we're scared of, and we simply don't move. And then we wonder why life is happening around us and people are going doing fun, cool things. And we're like, yeah, the weather is nice. It's the same. This rock keeps poking me in my left tushy here. And I'm still here. And I'm still doing nothing. Because if I move, I might discover something that I might love about myself. I might discover that I have more courage than I thought possible. I might just discover that I don't like this. And I want to throw it all away and start over. So we sit here in the uncomfortable, and we sit here in the place of the unknown, and then we start to suffer. And when we get finally tired of suffering, and we get finally tired of this, we get mad. And that mad is what moves us up and out of I'm afraid, I'm scared, I'm fearful. And we do something. And in that something, it really looks ungraceful. And depending on how angry we are, the Tasmanian devil comes out and thrashes and destroys everything in its path. Now, the moral of the story, okay, is that if you would have not popped a squat, okay, if you would have simply said, I'm scared, this is unknown, I don't know what to do, God help me, or find a friend, find a guide, call on a lifeline, okay, and get out of there, you would still be scared, and it wouldn't be everything that you destroyed. It would just simply be, oh, my goodness, it's dark out. I have a flashlight, no kid. Oh my, that's a compass. No kidding, I got a flashlight and a compass. I can do this. And you walk out of the I'm scared, and you walk into the excitement of the unknown, and you recognize that you can create. And you recognize that, oh my gosh, there's others that are doing the same darn thing. And if they can do it, then I can do it. And suddenly you have that courage and you have that anticipation. I actually got this. I think I can do this. Now, it's very gentle. It's a different type of feel. And then you start moving forward, and pretty soon you got a whole bunch of people like, I'm scared and I don't know. And I don't know what to do. And I want to pop a squat. And you're like, no. Don't dare sit down. Grab my hand. I've been through the fire. I know all the exits. I got you. This is a piece of cake. What's really, really interesting is that hill up there. Okay. Now that mountain I have not conquered yet. But you and I, we're going to do it together because we can be scared together. We can't be fearful. So that's where I come
Very
from.
nice. No, we can be scared, but we cannot be fearful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yes, because fearful is the fear stops you, blocks you. No?
Yes.
And scared
It
is
creates so much havoc.
yeah. And scared is I'm scared. I'm acknowledging I'm scared. But I still can do it.
Yep. And it can look messy. Most times, the first time you do something, it should be messy. It should be it should be ungraceful, because you are creating something new, and your masterpiece isn't done yet. And in essence, the masterpiece never really truly is finished.
There's never an arriving.
No, because what fun would that be?
Yeah,
Because you'd be
yes.
so focused on the destination that you miss all the cool stuff that's along the side. And those detours I was telling about that are more fun. Okay. If you're like, oh, I gotta get there, and you're so focused on getting there, you would forget that there's fun, there's amusement parks, and there's museums, and there's people, and there's places to eat, and there's food to be had, and there's laughter to be enjoyed. And it's not about that. It's about learning who you are throughout the process.
Yes. And I love that. Yes. it's what you acknowledge now when you've been through that. It's like what you were saying, when you see someone else and say, don't
No, don't sit.
just continue, because it's amazing afterwards. It's just curiosity and growing and expansion and everything. Yeah.
It's fun. Because once they sit, we don't know how long it's going to take for them to get that courage to stand back up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's harder to stand back up. Once you sit down and you've acknowledged that fear, and you're like, okay, so I'm going to be fearful for a while, and you just stay stuck. It is so much harder to say, okay, I'm going to go from fear to scared, and I'm going to do this, and it takes a bit, and it's more exhausting than just to say, you know what, I'm scared. This is new. Okay, I need a lifeline. I'm not going to sit. I'm going to stand patiently. I'm going to wait a day. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to find a tool, or I'm going to read a book, or I'm going to talk to a person, or I'm going to talk to something greater, bigger, more than I. And I'm going to say, look, you seriously, if you want me to continue, you got to send something. Okay. Send me a guide. He better be handsome and beautiful and amazing and sexy and attractive, and bring me margaritas while we're doing this. But it better look good, and it better be in flashing lights, and I better know that it's a sign from you that I'm looking for. And if I start to doubt, that's okay, because I can move forward as I'm doubting. Okay. Because I want to make sure that the sign doesn't sign, as long as you stay in that state of scared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's okay. You can be scared all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Be scared. I would love for you to be scared, because it means that you're feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
It means that you're not 100% convinced. Awesome. Great. Because you're convinced is going to come from you doing. It's going to come from you stepping into that unknown and saying, okay, so this doesn't work for me, and this doesn't work for me. This works. This feels better. I can do this. I can master it. And I want to put my intention, I want to put my focus, I want to put my energy into this. And then when that doesn't work out, you're like, cool, good. All right, so that doesn't work no more. There's got to be something better. And that's where you're growing. And you don't recognize that you're growing, and that you reach the summit of whatever mountain you were climbing, until you take a step back and say, oh my goodness, this 6 months I've moved a lot. I've sacrificed, and I have surrendered, and I've let go, and I've met some really cool people along the way.
Yes.
And now I don't recognize who I am anymore.
Yes.
And then the fun is you get to sit in that, and you get to decide, okay, so where are my boundaries? Where is this newness? What does this newness do now? Cool. It's like buying a brand new car, and you don't know where the turn signal is, and you don't know what the wipers do, and you don't know what that button does, because it's blinking at you. So that's got to be fun. Hopefully it doesn't blow up the car. So if we push it, okay, let's watch what happens. Let's see what it does. And then something magical happens, or maybe nothing happens. And that's okay if nothing happens, or if something magical happens. It's all good. Because then we can discover why that did that, and what that does for us. And it's an adventure.
It's beautiful how you describe it. I love that.
Thank you.
And from the heart, with passion. I love that.
Yes. How about you? What helped you get to here?
Well, also, like you're saying, listening to my inner guide, to my inner wisdom at the end, and still much more to go. But yeah, listening to the heart. I would say it's about already now 19, 20 years ago when I heard it the first time. And that's when I decided to redo my life, to change it. And I moved, well, from the US, from New York to Barcelona. I live in Barcelona. And because I didn't know myself, and I decided to know myself. And it's when I started to listen into the heart. That's why I came to Barcelona, because in Barcelona I didn't have anything, let's say. And I started to grow, to expand. with many, many, many detours. Many detours. But I had detours. I had so many detours because I was listening to my mind. And then when I went against the wall or then dead end, I was listening to my heart, going back and restart over with another thing or whatever the heart said. No? So today I learned really to listen to the heart and trust. And if there's no guidance, I just wait. I read books. I do what I write. I mean, I work. But from my work, from what I love to create, I don't initiate anything if it doesn't come intuitively to an idea or something that I feel comes from the heart, and then I act upon that. I respond. But my mind, no more, no more. But that's what I say today. But I'm observing a lot, no? So I observe a lot what is happening to me, the emotions, like you were saying, the how I am responding, and also before responding, it's happening inside of me. So my intention is always to live from the inside out, from the heart to the world, and so yes, if my thought is saying, my mind is saying, do this, I observe and say, why are you telling me to do this? I don't think so. Well, I don't feel so.
Yes.
Because no, it comes from here because of the rush, because of the insecurity, so many things, no? And the society is saying, no, I wait. I learn to wait. The tours have shown me to learn to wait. Trust. And then it's so beautifully because when something comes in, pops in, I respond, I act upon that, things flow. Things flow. And I flow because at the end, I think what we came here to do is to really be who we are and create what we love.
Yes.
No? And what we love comes from the heart. So today I'm co-creating conversations. And those are for me expansive sessions because I am in my heart. I co-create from the heart, and it nurtures me tremendously. And it's something that I don't know where it's going to go, but it's also not for me to know. It's for me to enjoy what I do, to really give everything of who I am into it, to connect with others, heart to heart, to feel their power of being. That for me is this freedom of being who you are and creating what you love. And from there, just continuing step by step in the now. No expectation, no outcome, just a vision. No? My vision is really a world of co-creation, no? Where everyone is there, everyone is love, everyone is their unique being, and everyone co-creates, no? And this dancing in harmony of giving and receiving for everyone to be whole. So this is my vision, and the vision I comply with. I don't know. I attune to it through this now moment, every now moment. What it brings me, because my mind doesn't know anything. My mind just limits me. My mind thinks of based on what has happened. So I don't trust it at all. No way. No. I trust my heart, the inner wisdom. Yes. And the information that comes through it, yes. Which is totally different, no? You feel it, you know it. It's totally different. It's the thoughts are thoughts, you know them. Emotions are emotions. Information from the heart, intuitive information is just completely different.
I agree. To try and explain to someone how and why I do 99% of the things that I do. And they're like, well, why are you doing that? Like the one time I bought a book and I was 8 pages in, and in the book it talked about a modality called energetic NLP.
Mm-hmm.
So now, mind you, I'm 8 pages in the book, so maybe 15 minutes into reading the book, and I saw energetic NLP, and I went online, and in 2 weeks there was a class in California. Now I had to fly across the United States. Well, obviously, because you're from New York, so you know Pennsylvania is on the East Coast. I had to fly
Yeah.
to the West Coast, California. Okay, it's a flight. I mean, it is a bona fide
Yeah.
flight, and it's a time investment. Okay, and the class was in 2 weeks, and within 30 minutes of picking up that book, I had booked my flight. I had booked my ticket to the
Wow.
conference. I got my hotel. I figured out all the logistics, and I put the book down. And I have a husband at the time. He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I want to let you know that in 2 weeks I'm not going to be here for the weekend." He says, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to a conference." He says, "Well, this is new." I said, "Yeah, I know. I didn't find out about it till about 32 minutes ago." Yeah. So just so you know, I won't be here. And he was just shocked. And he's like, how do you do that? Like, why are you doing that? And I said, because I was told to do that. And when I do what I'm told to do, things go a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the military. He was a Marine, and he got the being told what to do, but he doesn't understand that it's not from a human person. It's not the book told me to do it. It
Mm-hmm.
was the book landed in my hands at the perfect time. And then the words jumped out of the page and created an emotional response that I could not rest until I had created this. And then I could breathe. All right, cool. So I know what I'm doing in 2 weeks. And then I
Yes.
could relax into it. And it was an amazing time. I had a joyful experience with the energetic NLP, and then I got to go to a wonderful zoo, one of the best zoos that I've been to, and I got to see the cool animals. And then I got on a flight and I came home, and I wasn't the same person that left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what I learned and what I saw and what I experienced and the people that I touched and who touched me and who gave me that and all signed up. I mean, they were present and on task. Okay. They got the memo and they showed up for me and I showed up for them and we had a moment. I've never seen them again. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to unless the universe, something greater, bigger, more than I says, yes, two, you need to be reconnected and rejoined. But it was cool because we all showed up. We all were present and we all did, and we were, and it was just a really cool story too to tell people, yes, when your guides do something completely out of your comfort zone, trust that you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
when we force it. Okay,
Yes.
you mentioned about patience. I thought for a long time that I didn't know the art of patience, and I've come to study the art of patience, and I have recognized that patience is not a passive response. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
active. It
Yes.
is you recognizing now is not the time yet. That doesn't mean you sit and pop a squat and eat your lunch. No, no,
Mm-hmm.
no. That means that you can't do this today. So you're going to go over here and you're going to actively prepare for what you want to do here tomorrow. Because if you don't do the work over here today, you're not going to be ready that when this opens up tomorrow, you're not going to have your lunch. You're not going to have your water. You're not going to have your good walking shoes because you're walking. Honey, you're going on a journey that starts tomorrow. What do you need to do to pack yourself and get yourself set up for success so that when the road opens, you're ready to go instead of scrambling and saying, well, I can wear flip-flops. We're going up a mountain, honey. There's rocks. Okay. I
Love it.
don't suggest this. This is a long, it is a long path. It's not paved. I mean, there's potholes and there's critters and there's scorpions and there's all kinds of cool friends that you're going to meet. Grab some hiking boots. Okay. Make sure you got some water because you're good. Excuse me. You're going to get thirsty. So patience in my philosophy, in my world, is a very active
Yes.
participation on your part.
Yes.
It's not passive. People come to me and say, oh, that patience word again. I don't want to be patient. Well, why not? Well, that means I got to sit still. No, we're not. Who said anything about sitting? I didn't say anything about sitting. You might lean, okay?
I don't
You
sit.
should be active. There's no sitting. If you sit, my work is harder because I'm gonna have to drag you up. I don't want to drag you up. I'd rather we encourage and you stand up on your own 2 feet because you want to.
Yes.
Patience to me is very active.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It's the presence.
Yes, and it's active also because it's you actively are not succumbing into what you want to do now. No, you're actively being and doing other things for that to happen when it has to happen. And maybe that doesn't happen as you thought it would happen, but something better comes, or at least different, something that then surprises you, but not that you had in your mind.
I love when God does that. When God, I like to tell people that when they're in a state of confusion, ask God to show off. And they're like, what do you mean, show off? That when you allow for God to show off, you sit back and you laugh because you're like, oh my gosh, that was God showing off. Because okay, so in my world, just to give you the perspective, God is 23 years old. Okay, he is this most handsome man. Okay, he's got a wife beater on, which is a white tank top. Okay, he's got jeans with holes in them. He's got bare feet because who wants to touch the earth with shoes? I mean, of course not. You're gonna have bare feet. Okay, he's got shades because my future is so bright. Okay, he's this amazing 23-year-old male that just has so much fun and thinks that I'm hysterical because he created me. So when I go to God and I say, God, go off for me. Okay, this is my problem. Okay, I want you to do what you do best, which is show off and help me create a solution that allows for everybody to win. And then I sit back and I allow and I surrender. And it's magical how the roadblocks no longer exist and how I've got more energy than I necessarily need. And the people that I want to be there may not show up, but actually new people that are better suited for me, better suited for the situation and my solution. Just appear out of nowhere. And God said, was that good enough, Jen? Was that showing off? And I'll say, you know, God, I think you can do better. And he winks at me. And it's having fun, co-creating with that experience and reminding myself that it's not about me. It's about how can I show up for other people to allow for their experience to be as magical as mine, because I had to learn lessons to get here.
Yes.
And it doesn't have to be as difficult. I did the difficult work, but I can at least help them walk through them and say, oh, step over that. No, that's a booby trap. You don't want to, you want to touch it. Oh, okay. I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to watch you touch that booby trap and we're going to see what happens. Oh, you got your finger trapped. Now that is a pickle. And then we work on what lesson did you learn? Don't touch booby traps. That's a very good lesson to learn. Now we know that. Now we know not to do that no more. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye out. But that doesn't mean that we can't touch and feel the other things that are over here. That are more suited for us.
Yes. I love that because you're describing what for me is a true leader. And at the end, we all are true. We all can be true leaders if we want. But one of the things, one of the factors, one of the key points is that really we are showing others what we went through. Let's say, no, we're showing others not to go through where we went through. So to nurture them, to empower them, to inspire them, to grow without the pitfalls we were in.
Yes.
So we are giving from who we are to them so that they grow and get empowered and jump where we had to, where we fell. They just jump it and they continue and are growing. No? And we see in them all this, the skills, the capacity, their potential, the limitless potential.
Beautifully said.
Each of them has limitless potential in their own unique way.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And that's part of the co-creation also. And that's part because that's why you are so unique in who you are. And as with your uniqueness, you're showing them what you're unique at. So they're learning from you, and they are unique, and they are showing you their uniqueness, and you are learning from them, and you're nurturing them. So it's all co-creation in this world.
Yes. Always be always be a student first, a teacher second.
Yes, yes, yes. And be of service. Be of service. Because that's beautiful. None of what we're saying here is because it has to be like that. It's not that. It's because we experience it and we know it from the heart, and we know that through that we are growing everyone and ourselves. So, and we are oneness at the end. No, we are all the same. So that's so expansive and so nurturing and so beautiful and so magical, no? So it's amazing when we can live like that every day. We are. I'm still. But it's so nice. That's where we're going. That's where we're going.
So I have a question for you. If you feel comfortable and you feel safe, why Barcelona? I mean, I understand New York City. I would have hopped on a plane and got out of New York City, absolutely, or New York. I'm just not necessarily a fan.
Yeah.
But the entire world is your oyster.
Yeah.
And you pick Barcelona. It's beautiful. Okay. And I'm not trying to diminish that.
No.
I'm just curious, what was your draw to Barcelona? What said Barcelona, that's it, my flight?
Yeah. And actually, because before that was before I never felt home anywhere. I'm a earthling, as everyone is, but I don't feel I'm from one specific place. Okay, I'm a mom Cuban, father Swiss, born in Venezuela, grew up in Italy, in Switzerland, Venezuela, German school, worked everywhere. So when I was in New York, I felt always that it wasn't my place, and all this rush always. And Barcelona came when I was in my decision to leave. A friend of mine from university, she came to visit me when I was in this divorcing, in this phase of separation, in this week of leaving everything behind. And she was here in Barcelona. And so that's when it started. Then I had so many casualties, and that when I was in Barcelona, after 3 months, when I separated, I sold the car, I saw everything, and I saw myself, I was going to start a job the next day, and it was a Sunday. I had bought a dog. I didn't have furniture, it was still coming, everything. I said, why Barcelona? Why here? And I wrote down 20 casualties, why I was in Barcelona. But one thing also, I remember I came in the midst of it, I came for 1 week to Barcelona to it was Barcelona or Rome, okay? And the things that possibilities I had. And Barcelona, I came to search for a job. But I remember I was walking the streets of Barcelona, and I was saying, this is my place. And just because of that strength and that attraction I felt from the heart, it's what gave me the strength to go back, resign in United Nations, separate to everything, and come here because of that moment, what I felt in that part. And one thing I always say is because Barcelona was a place that was the food and the culture is very similar to North Italy. And I grew up in Italy until I was 7. Can be, but I know that it was that moment. I sat down in the middle of Barcelona in next to a stadium, and I sat down. I said, "This is my place. This is where I have to be," and that gave me the strength for everything. I didn't look back, and I was listening to my heart. I was doing, sad and everything, but I knew I was doing the best for me, my ex-husband, and everyone. It's where I had to go. So that's why Barcelona.
That is beautiful.
It's time that gave me a lot of strength and trust in myself, which I didn't have. I didn't know myself. I didn't know what I like to eat. I didn't know anything because I was living for others. So following my heart and doing that and seeing back, like you were saying, I was looking back. I was saying, well done. Wow. You're very strong and you were able to do that. If you were able to do that, you can do anything. Yeah. And then I had a lot of, again, like you're saying, no, but that was more with my social enterprise and those things, no, the having to, the society and the pushing there, it's where I had those pitfalls and drawbacks, no? But it was because I was still in the mind, no? But I learned so much from that. What I am today, I'm not even close by what I was, because what I was something I was thinking that I had to be because of the external world, not of what I really was. And I just have been all this year, and still lots more to do all this year, unlearning the beliefs and the patterns and everything, unlearning what I was not. Yeah. So yes.
That is very special.
Thank you. Yeah. And that's something. That's the beauty. Something everyone can do. No, everyone can be. Is when we listen inside, when we listen to our heart, when we follow this inner wisdom, this guide, and from the heart, no, not the voice that is talking in the mind, but it's something that comes from within us. Nothing bad can happen. It will always be expensive.
Mm-hmm. It's an art, listening to the heart and then trusting.
Mm-hmm.
And letting go of the doubt, or say, okay, I doubt this, but I'm going to test drive it just in case.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. And this way I can tell my heart that you're wrong. And that never happens.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But it's an experience just going from I'm doubtful that this is actually going to work to, okay, I'm going to still doubt, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it a full grown effort. I'll give it a week and we'll see what happens. To saying, oh, my heart wants to do this. Great. Do you know where you're going? Not a clue. All I know is that I'm supposed to go to the airport and buy a ticket.
Yeah.
I'll figure out when I get there. Well, what kind of clothes are you going to wear? Everything. And if I don't have the proper clothes, I'm going to buy it. And where's the money going to come from? Who knows? It's the whole thing. It is so much fun. And people are just, they get into that fear state and like, I could never do that. I said, why not?
Why not? Why not? It's one example is when I did a trip to India, or now already 2018, of 5 weeks. I only had the ticket to Delhi and the coming back.
That's it.
That's it. I said, when I get there, I'll figure it out. And it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful because life was taking me and guiding me to see things, to meet people. And I was there in many places and really flowing in the day to day, seeing where else I should go. So it was very, very magical. I could always have come back before if I wouldn't have anything, no? So it's really, it's It's really a very nice experience when you let life flow with you, no, or life flow to you, I would say. And the same, no, I had that experience, and today what I try is to do the same, no, here. To certainly, I want to change things, to let go of things. I mean, path, no, work things, but they have to come. It has to come. That's what you're saying. I trust it has to come when it has to come. In the way that it has to come, I don't know. And for now, I'm putting my energy in everything I do, and I'm there for my team and for everyone. But I don't know until when. We will see. And then co-creation. I love this. This expansion. These conversations. These sessions are wow. And they lead me somewhere. Yes. Where? I don't know. It's so nice. It's so nice.
I agree with you about everyday life and just trying to allow for it to go where it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes psychologically, we think we're allowing in our everyday.
Yes.
But
true.
In our unconscious mind, we still have our hooks in what it's supposed to look like. And that isn't fully allowing for the day to flow the way it's supposed to.
Yes, that's true. Yes, 100%. Yes.
So I've found that I have 3 things that I would like to happen. So it balances my need to want to control or have some sense of control something. And in those 3 things, I tell God to show off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these are the 3 things that I think that we should do. I give it to you, show off, okay, and either make them better than what I think should happen, or give me something completely different in another realm. And some days are smoother than others. The days they're not quite as smooth, it's simply because there's something in me that doesn't want to learn the lesson that I'm being presented with, which is, again, that patience.
Mm-hmm.
And learning how to just ride with this. Oh, cool. All right. So this is not going to happen today. Friday is a perfect example. Like, this is just okay. Friday's not our day. It's perfectly cool. We will breathe through it. It'll be fine. Something better, better day for both of us is going to manifest, and trusting that. And that's where that lesson of trust comes into play, that we continuously have to learn it. Because even when we think that we've mastered the ability to trust, it's not just in ourselves, it's not just something greater, bigger, more than us, and trusting others, but it's taking back the control of remembering, of trusting our heart.
Yes.
Because we got here, okay? And we had pitfalls, and we had booby traps, and we had all kinds of fun, okay, to get here. And if we can trust ourselves that if we survived, because obviously we're here, okay? We obviously survived. If we can survive all that, we can survive whatever's in the unknown.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because we're supposed to be here.
Yes.
And if we're not supposed to be here, then it's time for us to go home. And that's cool.
Yes.
That means our trip has come to a close.
Yeah.
But something greater, bigger, more than us is getting us to where we need to be. And there's a lesson in it.
Mm-hmm.
And appreciating those pitfalls and those booby traps. And when our finger gets stuck and there's a little bit of blood, we're going to know not to do that again.
Yes.
We're going to learn something, and we can be blessed the fact that we felt something.
Yes. Yes, to remember.
Yes, so we can share that story and say, okay, when you see a mousetrap, don't put your finger in there. That's not for your human consumption.
No.
And someone's like, but I want that experience. I want
No.
like,
No.
are you sure? All right, I'm gonna sit here and let me know how it goes. Go ahead. I'll sit here. I'll take pictures for you. Okay, I'll video it for you so that we can play it back and we can look at the moment that you put your finger in there when you could have decided at this point right here. You could have decided not to do this, but you did. Okay, what did you learn when the thing came out on your finger? It hurt. No kidding. No kidding. That did hurt. It makes for a great story.
Yes.
You survived. You survived. or something like that. Lick the blood off. Okay, and we keep on moving.
Yes, yes. You were saying, Jen, you were saying something that is so important, and you said it several times. It's the letting go, because like you now, no, in my what I just told you, know, that one thing, the changing the path and letting move away from work or so. When I talk about that, I have an imagination of what it's going to look like. But it's not for me to have an imagination, because it's for me to be in the now, to trust that things will move as they have to move, and enjoy the ride every moment, give everything of myself every moment, and things will evolve as they have to, because I know, and I've seen, no, and you've seen, when something comes to an end, it comes to an end. But it's not for you to decide if it has to be ended or not, because sometimes you are then again, you have to go back and again mount what you said you were going to step out. So it's really this letting go and trust, letting go. No imagination of timings, of space, of nothing, because what awaits, yes, it's even bigger than whatever you may think, if you will be patient from the heart and trust. Yes. So that's so important. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing with me this space. I enjoyed it a lot. Much. And it's been very nurturing. Wow. And very, very mirroring.
I like that.
Very mirroring. Plus, because I see in you that you see what I see. That for me is this the power of being, no, the freedom of people to be who they are and create what they love. And you inspire and empower them, and you accompany them in their path. And I appreciate that for everyone, and because you are very wholehearted. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a joy and a pleasure. I'm grateful for you sharing your stories with me.
I'm also very happy, and I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Letting me sharing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.